Sam Dunn, Managing Director of Staedtler South Africa. Very warm welcome to the Red Zone. Now, we're dealing with a problem that I think is also going to find resonance with other established and quality brands, and that's the whole notion of imitation products. We're going to talk specifically about pencils in just a moment. But set the scene for us. What is an imitation product and how big a problem is it?
Jeremy, in our mind, an imitation product is a product that wants to look like an established brand in order to capitalize on the equity of that brand. So instead of building their own brand equity, having their own look and feel, they're copying or imitating the look and feel of established brands and therefore capitalizing and detracting from the customer
experience. And as you'll show us in just a moment, some of the quality actually isn't too bad. I mean, people can be fooled. But in this country, as far as your industry is concerned, the multi-billion rand stationery industry, this is a problem, isn't it?
It's a massive problem, Jeremy. We estimate we're probably countering about 10% of imitation product coming into this country. To give you an example, we seized 3 million pencils in December alone. So you quantify that into retail sales value and you're talking big money.
Let's talk about the quality now. Let's start with the knockoffs if we can. You've brought 3 specific examples.
I did.
What
Yes.
have we? Let me hand them over to you. What have you actually got there?
Okay, right. Now these particular pencils have all imitated our Staedtler Tradition and Tradition Eco product. So they've copied the exact get-up of the pencil, which is trademarked, the red and black stripe.
And that colouring is brand iconography as far as you're concerned, isn't it?
Yeah. But you can see the imitation very clearly on the product. So there are 2 imitation products here and there's 1 clear counterfeit product. So the imitation products you can spot by the bleeding of the ink into the white crown when there is a white crown, the length of the black, the irregularity of the lines and the imperfection at the top. You can also have a look at the wood compared to the genuine product. If I put the 2 genuine products, the wood finish, and then of course the ultimate test is in actually trialing the pencil. So the extent to which the lead lasts, how many times you have to sharpen it, and how long your pencil in general lasts.
It's very obvious when you hold them together.
Absolutely.
But to the public,
to the naked eye,
they could be fooled at an instant, couldn't they?
What's more scary is this is a product which is not only an imitation, it's a counterfeit. So it actually says Staedtler on the product. Yeah. It's not ours at all. I mean, you can clearly see the bleeding of into the white crown. I mean, look at the irregularity of the line. Lines.
Sam Dunn, apart from causing you huge irritation, and I would imagine this has an impact on your bottom line, how do you police this?
Jeremy, the best way to police it is to inform the end user, our customer. Through experience and through education, showing people exactly what our product looks like. We rely a lot on our social media pages, Facebook and Twitter. Also our brand building exercises, our billboards, indicate the fact that there is a lot of imitation around. And one really has to look quite carefully in some instances. And we ask our customers to report this to us so that we can then take further action.
Is this flea market stuff, or is this stuff that's actually finding its way into the mainstream shopping mall and into shops?
Both. Yeah. Both.
And coming from where? The automatic default to say, well, everything comes from China. I sense, though, this isn't just that. It's a global issue, isn't it?
It is a global issue. I mean, some of our imports we've seen coming from China, some from India, some claim as our counterfeit product to come from England. Very much doubt that. But really all over the globe. It's a really big problem, not just for us, but also for our competitors.
And obviously you rely on good intelligence here in order to make those kind of busts that you've just referred to.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah. Often, though, in this country, when you look at the crime rate, police have probably got other priorities. So this is not an easy one to get right all the time, is it?
Actually, it is when you're focused and you're as passionate about the brand as we are. So as soon as we're notified of a counterfeit product or an imitation product, there are very strict steps that we need to follow. And by doing that and by getting our legal team onto the case as quickly as possible so that we limit the damage and the effect of the damage.
Let's talk about that then. I would suggest to you, and no doubt you're going to disagree with me, that maybe it isn't worth embarking on expensive litigation.
It's absolutely imperative.
You're talking rubbish, yeah.
To defend the brand. I won't deny that litigation is expensive, and the best way is to actually hurt these perpetrators at their pocket level. So in the case of seizing the pencils, the pencils are seized and destroyed, and there's no revenue gain from the importation. Also then that particular importer is now flagged up to the authorities. So for every container
you want
that gets
to close the operation down, don't you?
Yes.
How successful have you been?
Very successful to date, but one has to be tenacious and vigilant. So, you know, you can't pursue one case and not another. And at any given time at the moment, I have 5 cases on my table.
All right. Final question to you. Any brand manager that is watching our conversation in terms of dealing with counterfeit and imitation products, what advice would you give them? What kind of strategy do they need to employ in order to mitigate against this?
Your best ambassador is your end user. And by educating the end user and encouraging the end user to report and also to stay away from a disappointing experience through education, that's your best strategy.
Sam Dunn, thank you very much indeed.